reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. I don't know what I just did. I just did something. Okay, so listen. And I was on here last night. Was I on here last night? I was on here yesterday, I think. Talking about Jay-Z, child. Listen. Or really, I was talking about Beyonce's, what she probably thinks about her, husband at this point. You know what? So I'm gonna talk about Beyonce, mostly about Jay Z, because that's really what's going on in the news right now regarding them. But is it just me or sorry? Are y'all sorry? Are y'all? I just I would like to know. Am I the only one that would like to know what Kelly and Michelle know about Mr. J or Z? About Mr. Z? Hove, whatever they call him. I never listen. I was never into that. I could never, and I still don't understand why people were legit walking around the earth calling this man God. Because that's what Hove means. Hova, Jehovah, that's what it means, God. And I get it, I don't get it, but like I understand there are different cultural things. Like New York people are different than Texan people. Texan people are different than Hawaiian people. Hawaiian people are different than, people who live in Florida. So I get that. But like, the ego part that I don't get. Listen, ego is not your amigo, okay? Be very clear. But like, I don't understand why it was okay or why Jay-Z thought it was okay to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna make a whole song and I'm gonna have the whole world saying, calling me Hova. H to the is L, V to the is A. No, I'm not calling you Hove. Sorry. And other grown men calling another man, I can't. That's why I can't call Girl Lemaine. What's his name? Girl Lemaine, Charlemagne, Girl Lemaine. I ain't calling you the God. The God of what? And be clear, he got on. On some platform and said several years ago that like, I think it's his wife now, but anyway, he said that there was one lady that he had been trying to get with for so long, and then one night they was hella drunk. She wasn't even really conscious, and he said he still had sex with her. That's right. Be very clear. And you can paint it however which way you want to paint it and dress it up to be like, oh well, they together now or whatever. You can't give consent if you are not conscious. You also can't give consent if you're not legally able to do so. If you're a child, you can't give consent if you're knocked out. Like it's just. So, anyways, back to Jay-Z. These internet streets have been talking about, oh boy, and he been over here dragging Mr. Busby. He been dragging him and that, I guess, whatever attorney team he got going working for him. They've been dragging the hell out of Mr. Busby. Okay. And Mr. Busby said, oh, but you wait. Because I really hadn't, and listen, I haven't been uploading lots of videos. I've been busy with work, but I was a little concerned about Mr. Busby when, it was being reported that the Jane Doe had dropped her lawsuit. And then I saw something yesterday that said why she dropped her lawsuit and that she was basically accusing, and let me say this too. Everything on Chanel's reality is, in my opinions, for entertainment purposes only, and it's all alleged. But it's what I believe, okay? I was saying this yesterday before I found out the other stuff because I was like, that doesn't really make sense that this lady has decided to just make some shit up about these two very famous people. It just doesn't make sense to me out of the blue. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm saying it's highly unlikely. Who wants that type of attention to be drawn to them in such a negative way, especially when scrutiny is always going to be on the person who is the victim. They want to know 1,000 things about why the victim did this, didn't do that, why didn't tell, like whatever. It never happens like that with the perpetrators because they're presumed innocent in a court of law. I'm rolling my eyes like that because my little sister already burned up the first pizza. She's like, see, this is why this pizza got burned up because you weren't here to cook it. I absolutely cannot with her. Carmen! Sorry y'all, she will have she will have a whole cell phone screaming in her ear and be knocked all the way out. Okay? But I gotta go get the pizza because clearly she about to burn up the second piece. Oh, please. Can I even, I don't know if I can pause Damn it! Thank you though. I was on mute yesterday, guys, for 45 minutes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't get me started. Thank you. Saying I'm on mute. Anyway, I'm on mute. It's Carmen's fault. My little sister, because she didn't burn up the first pizza. And then gonna say, well, the reason the pizza, she came here talking about the reason the pizza got burned is because you didn't cook it. How dare you? See, you see how that's a play. That's a play. It's like, so, well, I wanted you to make it anyway. So now here's your high five because you're the best. No, you're not gassing me up. I'm tired. Girl, leave me alone. Anyway, I put it on mute because I'm like, I gotta go get her pizza out the oven. Why? Why do I have to do these things? Anyway, so back to what I was saying when I was muted. Welcome to Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. I was talking about Jay-Z, and I was talking about how, I you know what? Listen, I believe people when they say they've been sexually assaulted. I just do. That's the background that I have, and it ain't changing over here. Now, I know a lot of people get on here and they'll be like, "Well, it's innocent until proven guilty." Yeah, in the court of law, but not in the court of me, and not in the court of Chanel. Not when I got all these statistical facts that say otherwise. No, I'm gonna believe the victim, and then y'all gonna the alleged perpetrator gonna have to prove me wrong, prove the victim wrong. That's just how I rock. Anyways, we've gone down that road again. I'm not gonna go down it tonight, but I think Jay-Z really feels like, he's kind of feeling himself right now. And for a second, I was just kind of like, you know what? I heard that this lady that accused him of rape or SA her or whatever, sexually assaulting her in a lawsuit. I was like, well, you know what? Maybe since she recants it, maybe. And I'm not saying that I believe that this lady is telling the truth or not telling the truth. I'm saying that a lot of times people don't even report it. So if they do make it to that stage, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But beyond that, I do think that Jay-Z's behavior about that was very un-Jay-Z like, meaning it's outside of what he would, the typical way. Him and Beyonce both have a PhD in really not giving a fuck about what other people think about them in their life in terms of anything dealing with like things they don't want to talk about. They like, we gonna show you what we gonna talk about, or we not. And Beyonce only gonna do it through her music. That's the only way she gonna, emote. It's gonna be what she tell you in Survivor. Okay, that was hit number 1. Okay, Dangerously in Love, hit number 2. Not she didn't have hits before that, but you get what I'm saying. It's like when she wants to talk about some shit, she gonna put it in an album. She was pissed about what happened in the early 2000s with her group and everybody blaming her, so she made a song about it, a whole album about it called Survivor. She fell in love because her daddy, the streets say her daddy sold her to Jay-Z. I don't believe that. I think she's her own woman, but that's what the streets say. And so, she made an album about that part of her life called Dangerously in Love. And, then now she running around here talking about, what was she saying? Y'all had us cornered with that Illuminati mess. Because they've been saying that for years. And honestly, truth be told, I don't believe in conspiracy theories in general. But now that I have a YouTube channel, it's a lot more. It's not that I believe it just because it's on YouTube. It's a lot more that I have to investigate myself, if that makes sense. And so then when you start reading and you start realizing, connecting this dot to that dot, then you're just kind of like, some of this shit just don't add up over here, And so anyways, I can't say anymore that the Illuminati doesn't exist. I just don't believe that there's just this master group taking, over everything. I don't necessarily believe that things work that way all the time, but I do think that money buys you a whole bunch of privilege and a whole bunch of options. It ain't gonna necessarily buy you love, but it definitely will buy your ass some options, okay? It'll buy your ass all the way out of jail. What did he say? Shitty Diddy, what did he say? He said, I could teach y'all how to make money and stay out of jail. He was telling us, y'all. So I think that the Jane Doe, I don't know that lady. I believe victims, but I did think it was fishy that she suddenly dropped her lawsuit. And then, because it was just kind of like Jay-Z said already. He was like, yeah, y'all gonna wish y'all didn't do this. He was like disgruntled about, being, how dare y'all accuse me of anything? Which, to be fair, if you didn't rape anybody, or you didn't rape this person, then of course you're going to be outraged. How dare you? I get it. I get it. But Jay-Z has too many things around him that say he likes them young. So that lends a little bit of credence to what this lady's saying. But she did recant it. And like I said before, I think that lots of victims recant. And if you got the whole world saying you're a liar, you're a hoe, and you this, that, and the third, you just, it's a money grab and whatever else. I think it takes a lot of bravery to get out there and say this did happen to you, if it actually happened. Then Jane Doe said now she retracted her retraction and said that, you know, basically her family was being, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically her parents were threatened, she was threatened, and so for her own safety, you know, she dropped it. So then Jay-Z been running around the earth, I feel like, you know, on his victory campaign, and I ain't mad at him. Listen, I don't like Jay-Z like that because I do think he's done a whole bunch of shady shit. I personally feel that way. But I'm pretty sure if someone was, you know, accusing me of something super egregious like rape, and then I was able to somehow get them to drop it through my attorney, or, you know, decrediting everything that they did or said, or, you know, attacking them in that way, and they ended up, you know, dropping it. Excuse me, that's a win. At least for him. But see, this is what puts people's own noose around their own neck. Ego. The ego does it. Get full of yourself. First of all, this is my interpretation of Jay-Z. First of all, I've been getting away with this, all kinds of shit, for 30 years. And so you think you gonna come along and knock me off my horse? You're not. The number one reason that scuba divers, professional scuba divers, and just regular people end up not making it, ego. I've been doing this forever. I've dove into, you know, 100 caves around the world and blah, blah, blah. The difficulty level, I'm an expert now. I feel like that's the problem with people like Jay-Z and Diddy and Weinstein and R. Kelly and all the other ones that we don't even know their names, right? That's what catches them up. They think they're invisible. Because why? Why would I think anything other than that? What did Beyonce say? It's $1 billion on the elevator. And she was like, I standing on business. I did what I did. I said what I said. And so now, like I said, Jay-Z's on this, I'm going to sue the lawyer that was trying to sue me, essentially, just to fuck with him. That's what I feel like that is. But I just don't think Jay-Z realizes that there's more to come. I don't know, because I don't know him. I don't know these people. I don't know none of these people. I wasn't there. Okay? But Sloan Bella, I always go to Sloan Bella. And then he didn't say Sloan Bella in his little statement that he put out. But I personally felt like he was talking about Sloan Bella, because that's what I listened to. She basically predicted, her and Kim Porter, because she's like a psychic medium or something. She predicted basically every single thing that's happened to Diddy. She said that, what did she say? She said Kim Porter told her that something was going to happen like on November 15th or 16th or something like that. That's when Cassie filed her lawsuit. Now, Sloan Bella said this like almost like a year in advance to that actually happening to Diddy. She then said that there was going to be something coming up around April. That's when the feds hit Diddy's house. Or houses, or homes, or mansions, or whatever you want to call it. So she ain't been wrong yet. Sis is twerking on all the fences. She's hitting on all cylinders. And then she made another video and she talked about Beyonce and Jay-Z. And so I just want to play a little bit of what she's saying is going to happen with Jay-Z and Beyonce, actually. So let's just take a listen.
Now, having said that, I get Jay-Z connected to Clive Davis, connected to P. Diddy, and so there's a succession of things happening. Clive is old right now, so he's probably next in line, but I'm kind of shooting on.
Now, she made this video a year ago. A year ago. This was before any type of lawsuits that we know of, at least, were being filed about rape and Jay-Z in the same sentence. Outside of his alleged son or alleged children, people listen. The streets say he got a few kids outside of Ivy Park, and the rest of Beyonce's babies. So this happened a year before any of this started. Before any of it started, really. Not before Diddy, because she had already made that video. Like I feel like maybe a year or 15 months prior to everything that started happening. Prior to Cassie. And her whole lawsuit. So anyway, let's finish listening because she's now talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce.
With Chris Brown, and then I'm shooting off with Justin Bieber, and
We all know
then
Justin
I'm kind
Bieber.
of going to MC Hammer. Like, it's happening. These people are being used on different levels to take other people's money, clean it, move things all about the country under the guise of their creative talents. Now, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. Screeching halt. Russell Simmons pops up in the...
When she says this is going to... She said, now, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. Screech. She ain't missed. So I'm going to go with what's on Bella said. Yep. I'm going with what... Hey, Mini-Me. Mini-Me say, it reeks of desperation and why... Oh, hold on, wait. Oh, I can't get my... hold on, wait. And why sue the Jane Doe when she dropped the lawsuit? He's trying to get the $20 million he lost. You know what? You might be right. You might be right, sis. I didn't even think of it that way. But yeah, I believe Jay-Z. I mean, I believe Sloan Bella. She could be wrong. I mean, she is human, right? Well, she really haven't missed yet. Now, obviously, everything isn't going to be 100%, She's not God. Let's be clear. But it seems very accurate. So I'm going to just play that one little part once again. Let's just see what she says.
Creative talents. Now, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. Screeching halt. Russell Simmons pops up in the conversation. Okay? In the conversation. So I have not heard head nor tail of Russell Simmons. He pops right in right now. For months.
What's
I mean,
happening?
he went off somewhere and who the hell knows where he went.
Who knows?
Those words, that hiding, will come to play in the future months. We are going to see conversation from Russell Simmons. It's either behind the scenes, it's something that is going to bring about a change in how the public looks at Jay-Z. There's like all kinds of things going on. He has a target directed at him because people want him found out. Beyonce does as well. This is what they're doing. Changing the candle wax, upping the game, upping the ante. The energy is very, very odd, but this is what I feel. So it's 3 years, and then in the year 2036, it no longer exists. He is a expression of his former self, and that former self is contained in such a way that we don't recognize it, and it doesn't have the power that it wields right now. So we are in a long line of circumstances happening.
So you should go watch her whole video on, Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's kind of interesting. She starts out, with the astrology part of it, but I don't really know much about that part. I do know a lot about, Leo, since, I'm a whole ass Leo over here. And I'm fabulous and, cute and beautiful and all those things. Juicy. Just saying, she is. No, but so I know like about my characteristics and how I am. And most Leos that I know, we're bossy. We think we right about everything, and typically we are. So get into it. Just all I'm saying. No, I mean, we can be grandiose and, I don't want to be the center of attention, but I do like attention. I don't want to be the center of attention. I think it's weird, unless that's what I want to do that day. But I just like attention. I don't necessarily want to be the center. Yeah, we're very generous and loving and loyal and all those types of things. So that's what I know about. I don't know about all the rest of y'all. I don't know about y'all. Sloan Bella do though, so whatever. But yeah, I believe her. I don't know if everything's gonna happen exactly like this lady is saying is gonna happen, but go watch some of those videos. She talks about really the ones that got me were the ones about Notorious B.I.G. Like he called Diddy, and this is way before any of this stuff came out about Diddy. The one she did on Notorious B.I.G. Because I just never knew. I mean, I'm not in that world anyways, but like I listened to Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac and all of the '90s rappers and R&B and all that. Some of the best music you'll ever hear. But anyways, um, so but I always looked at Diddy from what they showed us as like, he's Biggie's best friend, and now if you listen to what the streets say, he got that man murked. And when you start having all these bodies pile up around you in your orifice, I listen. That's why I say, years ago I'd be like, people like, oh, the Illuminati. I'm not saying it does exist or doesn't. I have a hard time believing that there's some secret government, power that people are saying, okay, well, go ahead and just murk my whole family so I can have fame. I have a hard time believing that, and have for a very long time. I still don't believe it. Not like that. It would have to you have to show me some more evidence for me to just be like, oh yeah, I ain't co-signing on some bullshit that I can't, have some sort of level of certainty about. But knowing what I know now about the evidence that we've seen with the stuff that, Cassie said Diddy was doing and all the other people that have just seemingly mysteriously, dying of, fake pneumonia and fake brain aneurysms and all this kind of, like, it's just kind of like, at some point you guys just kind of be like, did you see what you saw? You know? I don't know. But Beyonce running around there talking about, y'all haters cornered with that Illuminati mess. I was like, get him, babe. I remember being in a beauty supply store, and a lady, she was like, I feel like she was Spanish. She definitely wasn't black. And she was trying to tell me about the Illuminati and how Beyonce is part of it. I'm like, yeah, right, girl. Now I kind of wish I could go back and be like, well, maybe I don't know. Like, because at that time I was just like rolling my eyes like, you're a bye. But now I'm just like, child, the emperor has no clothes, honey. Like, you just can't believe everything that you think can't happen, like, or isn't happening. I don't know how deep it goes, but if you go watch some of those Sloan Bella, like, if you go watch Sloan Bella's videos about Kim Porter, she has 3 of them. Child. Kim Porter seemed to she had all she knew where all the bodies were buried, okay? No, but I do think it's interesting watch, and she does a whole lot of different like celebrity channeling stuff. I'm not a psychic. I don't want to be a psychic or a medium or none of those things, but it is interesting to listen to some of the stuff that she kind of, I feel like, in some way clears up for people. But back to Jay-Z. So, and his lawyer, they are now suing Tony Bus. So that's the cockiness that I was talking about. That's what I was talking about. It's the ego is not your amigo. The reason those scuba divers, they end up passing away in most cases is their ego. Rest in peace, all of them. What I mean by that is, you become overly confident. Not that you're not qualified and you're not, whatever, you're not trained or whatever. It's you become overly confident, I think. I've swum, and I've dove in this many, caves and whatever else, blue holes and water holes and all that. I get it, but that's what catches people up, their ego. I can promise you. Diddy never thought he was gonna get caught. What did he say? Anything? I can show you how to. What did he say? I can show y'all how to have fun and stay out of jail. He said it. I can promise you, Beyonce never thought none of this was going to be said about her husband. Well, unless she knows more than, she says or is going to be willing to admit to. It's possible she didn't know. I just have a hard time believing that only because. See, I'm of 2 minds with that because a lot of things have happened in the world that I'm just not in that world, so I'm not going to be privy to it. It's not on my radar. Like, ghetto ass people are not on my radar. It's just not who I, choose to hang around or run around with. So things that the ghetto ass people do, I'm just probably not gonna know about it because I don't surround myself with those type of people. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that I'm uninformed. It's just you're naive because you're just not in that circle. It's like I'm not in a circle full of surgeons, so I don't know what the surgeons talk about. I do work, in a mental health hospital, so I certainly know about mental health. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna go and say talk about a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know about. I'm not informed on in that way, and that's why I always say everything on Chanel's Reality is, in my opinion, is for entertainment purposes only, and it's all alleged. Okay, I don't know none of these people. I wasn't there, but I'd be willing to bet you that it's so. That's why I was saying two minds, because I find it hard to believe that. Not saying it's impossible, that as one of the biggest stars on the planet, one of the most recognizable people on the planet, Beyonce is. I have a hard time believing nobody ever sent you anything about Diddy, or you never heard one whisper about Jay-Z and what happens at the white parties. And that's the part that I have a problem with. Not that that a wife just wouldn't know. I think that's possible. But typically, if you're married for long enough, you're in a relationship for long enough with a person, how they respond, what their habits are, what they're gonna do, like what they're not gonna do, like to an extent. You're never gonna know everything, right? You're not gonna know what someone is thinking, not what they're really thinking. They can share whatever, but you don't know actually what they're thinking. So that's why I say it's possible she didn't know. But I only challenge that because you are one of the most recognizable people on the planet in that industry, the entertainment music industry. Your husband is, been running around the earth claiming to be, the godfather of hip hop, but basically supposedly the GOAT, which I think is a long list of people who are much better at that rapping thing than he is. Eminem would be one of them. Tupac would be another. B.I.G. would be another. Like, it's a long list, and Jay-Z ain't at the top of it for me. But he, like I said, he happens to be married to Beyonce. You know what they say about those Houston girls like me? Just saying. A little saucy and sassy, just saying. So I just don't believe nobody. Not a Kelly Rowland. That's the other thing too. That's what I want to know. I want to interview Kelly. Kelly, come on to Chanel's Reality, girl. You can come and tell me about everything that happened. You can do this dirty laundry, sis. Y'all remember she made that song, The Dirty Laundry, to talk about how, she was being, unfortunately assaulted and in a very violent, allegedly, relationship with a guy who turned her against her sister and all that. That was unfortunate. But I want to know what Michelle thinks, because Michelle, she's saved and sanctified, okay? Nah. But she does, to me, Michelle probably gives the most genuine, my opinion. I want to know what they think. You really want to know? And they're never going to say anything. I feel like Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle, they got some shit they take it to their graves. They ain't never going to say anything. It's never going to happen. But I would love to know. One would love to know. And I don't think we ever going to know. I think they in that contract, just like Jay-Z in that contract. They say he signed. 50 Cent said he signed that contract with Beyonce, the one with Beyonce. You talking about that marriage contract? I'm not playing with him. But anyway, back to my original point. So Busby has now flipped it on Jay-Z, because Jay-Z been running around like he just caught a Hail Mary, honey, and just touched down on the play. And Busby then came out of nowhere, and he's just like, flag on the play, okay? No. Bring it back. Pass interference. You know what I'm saying? Like, Busby like, oh, y'all thought I was done? Busby is like, oh my God, this shit right here, every time I need a laugh, this shit right here takes me out. Let me see if I can find it on my Instagram. This shit takes me out. Is it on my Instagram? I hope it's on my Instagram. I hope I saved it on my Instagram. Oh, I did. Thank you, Jesus. Can y'all see this? Why? Listen, because before the clown gets there, the clown, hold on. It says, you a clown if you keep posting and only get 12 likes. And then it says me. And that's when the clown comes out. That's me and my peeps. So it says, you a clown if you keep posting and only get 12 likes. He clowning. I can't. I love it. I'm gonna watch it one more time. They so shady. He's like, you a clown. He getting it, honey. Every time I'm like, if I'm sad or in a bad mood, I will watch that or I will watch the one with oh god. He used to be on the Disney show with That's So Raven, I think. I forget that guy's name. But he be on there licking his lips talking about Diddy. What did he say about Diddy? Oh man, anyway, it's hilarious. And so I'll rewatch it if I ever get like in a bad mood or whatever. If I wanna laugh about something. But yeah, so I think Jay-Z thought he was just gonna, tap dance on old Busby's head and just like, I'm gonna sue you and da da da. Cause this is the thing, Jay-Z's move is not to sue the people complaining about him. He's choosing to sue the breaks off the people that are in charge of the people who are, blaming things on him. He's like, I got time to play and mess around, with I'm not gonna sue the customer service rep. I'm gonna sue Verizon. That's how I feel like Jay-Z rocks. Oh yeah, I got a problem with this. No. I have a problem with the NFL. Jay-Z like, I don't care about the team. No, I'm suing the NFL. Okay. I feel like that's how him and Beyonce rock. We don't give a shit about Jaguar, right? No. We suing Piers Morgan and his bosses. We suing all that. Because I don't even think they were suing Piers Morgan. The way Piers Morgan got on the internet and basically, in my opinion, threw him and whomever else under the bus and was just like, yeah, they're going to sue us unless we recant this shit. Which is not typical when... I got agree. Ooh, it's not typical when you haven't accused, your studio, and whomever else, they haven't accused Beyonce and Jay-Z of being, whatever it was Jay or Wright was saying. They haven't accused her. Jaguar Wright accused her. So why am I in trouble? Why am I being sued? And I knew immediately. I'm like, somebody... It wasn't Piers Morgan that came up with that decision. I can say that right now. Piers Morgan was made to say that because to me, he's an asshole too. He is scrappy and he ain't gonna just lay down and take it, in my opinion. He would fight for it. So the fact that he basically came on the internet like the next day or two or, within that week to be like, we apologize to Beyonce because we not trying to, or to Jay-Z and Beyonce, we not trying to get sued and lose all our jobs. And I think Jay-Z and his people thought, oh, Busby think he won? No. Now that I done whatever I've done so that this lady then can go away. I don't know what happened, but the lawsuit is dropped. So I don't know what he did, but whatever happened, Jay-Z, in my opinion, had that ego of like, oh yeah. See, he's like that person that could have got away with the murder or the murking, but decided that he had to tell his he had to be cocky about it and be like, oh, I'm gonna tell my friend in this drunken whatever at her house or his house. And that's how you got caught up. That's what I feel like Jay-Z is doing right now. So he could get away with it and go on off into oblivion. And, him and his wife, they got $1 billion on the elevator. He could have just dropped it and then dropped a new album and people would have moved on until the next whatever salacious thing. But he didn't choose to do that. He said, okay. Him and his attorney and whomever else, I think they were just like, oh, now that we know that they're going to have to drop it, this is what we about to do. And he's, in my opinion, only doing it. I don't think it's so much that he hates, Tony Busby. He's making an example out of Tony Busby. Because then if I can crush him like a little termite under my foot, under my boot, I ain't gotta tell nobody else. They're gonna take, heed to this warning that I sent out. But like I said, Busby said flag on the play. Busby said, "Look, I don't give a fuck who you are, sir." What did he say? We gotta be guns too. Like that's how I feel. Busby's response to Jay-Z has been. Okay, so now I just want to let you guys listen to. I was listening to this guy earlier, and I like his commentary. His name is Murad Marali, but this isn't his commentary that I want to talk about. Let's see. There's another one. I have to find it. Oh, okay. Maybe it's this one.
When Mr. Carter refused to capitulate to Doe's baseless demands, Jane Doe doubled down by using the justice system to attempt to ruin Jay-Z by formally naming Jay-Z in a complaint making horrific false allegations.
So that's the original thing. That is not the one that I wanted you guys to listen to. So it's not this one. It's not this Christina Quorum. Is it this one?
Today is a really busy day. Today is a really...
I don't think so.
Because
yeah, this is okay.
Murad Marali, daily and consistent content. Let's get through this. Tony Busby is coming out with a statement, guys, and he is coming for Jay-Z, and he's not letting basically his behavior go. And this is what he says. I'm going to get straight into this. I've ignored the salacious and false stories about me that are nothing more than an effort to deter me from doing my important work. I do think it's important at some point to comment when the truth has been turned upside down. Here's the deal. I sent a demand letter for a meeting to Sean Carter's attorney on behalf of 2 individuals who alleged SA. Rather than meet with me, Jay-Z's team sued me for extortion. Those claims were stupidly frivolous, and I expect they'll be thrown out. Note that it was Carter's team that made this whole thing public. Carter's lawyer also came to Houston and met with the local authorities and tried to get criminal charges started against me, which went nowhere. They then tracked down and harassed former employees and clients from as far as 20 years ago. They were caught on tape offering up to 10 grand to former clients to sue me. 3 did so. All 3 cases were patently frivolous. 1 case has already been dismissed, and I expect the other 2 will also be dismissed as well. Because they refused to meet with me and because I have an obligation to my clients, I brought claims against Carter on behalf of one of those clients in New York. Carter's team filed a meritless motion for sanctions against me, challenged my admission to federal court in New York, and filed a state bar grievance against me. Here is where it gets really nasty. They found my client who had filed a suit. They threatened and harassed her. They harassed her family and friends. She has health issues. She has seizures. She withdrew her case. They then sued her and me again for defamation. They had already sued me for defamation, and most of that case is also being thrown out. Pay attention here. They want a headline. So in that new case, they falsely claimed she recanted. She didn't. She hasn't, and she won't. I wasn't there when the things she claims happened to her allegedly happened. I'm just her lawyer. I was sent her case by another firm and vetted it myself with multiple lawyers on my team. The approach here by Carter's team is unprecedented. It reeks of desperation. Wonder why? We won't be bullied or intimidated, period. So, I think the most important part of this conversation of Busby's statement is that they have basically said from via, headlines that she has recanted her allegations. That she has not done. She's doubled down on stuff. So at what merit do we believe all victims, or alleged victims when they come out with statements? Is it selective? Is it because a story has holes that one shouldn't believe in them? Because when this got dismissed, Jay-Z's lawsuit got dismissed, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this woman is a liar. But then she came out with this statement to say, I'm double down on the fact that A, this happened to me, and B, I've been harassed. C, they've been coming to my house. D, I'm scared. I've got health problems, mental health problems. I'm done with this and I'm out. And that in itself seems believable to me. Her troubled past and the things that she's gone into that are not good for her and the bad things that she's done lines up with somebody who's had a history of SA. Believe me, I know, because I've been SA'd, especially as a minor, and I understand the crazy path that puts you on. And if it wasn't for my religion, and if it wasn't for and the way I grew up, and the fact that I was told to not have alcohol, not have substances, not have any of that, I would have been gone off the rails, guys. Absolutely. Because all of that stuff, it expedites your PTSD. It expedites the trauma that you go through, and you end up doing crazy things that I'm not saying that she's not accountable for. Absolutely, you are accountable for your own actions, but there is an explanation for that, and the SA is that. SA rewires your brain chemistry, for goodness sake. This is biological. It changes your brain chemistry. It alternates what happens in your effing brain. I'm sick and tired of people who think that when you are discussing SA, people think it's some effing excuse. It's not an excuse. It's an explanation. You just haven't been through it, so therefore you don't understand. Sit down, shut up, and read a book and understand the madness of what SA does to people. I'm sick and tired of people's ignorance when it comes to this conversation. Because when I went through my whole scandal, and when I went through all of this SA, and for the fact that these men would transport me, induce things, give me substances, make me do things, and take part in these weird kinks and whatever. When I came to discuss the fact that I went through SA when I was young as a minor, they were like, "Oh, he's using this as a story. Let's get the violin out. He's using this as an excuse." Ain't no excuse. Ain't no excuse. It's an explanation. Because when you were SA'd as a minor, you were overtly sexualized madly. It changes your brain chemistry into a whole new level. You develop certain, certain stuff or behavioral to cope. You end up going through substances, whatever. All of this is true. And I feel like children at that time, when they go through SA, like me and like her potentially, or anybody else watching this, we are ignored, evidently, because no one cares about the fact that we are being SA'd in that moment of time. And it's so sad that when you get older and you read through the things and you end up speaking about it, you are also then ignored. I just feel like human beings are just trash. I don't know why I went into this rant, but I just feel like the fact that she's doubled down on this story.
So I was listening to him, and I don't, like I said, I'm busy, so I don't have a lot of time all the time to listen to all of the people that I would say I kind of follow them on YouTube, and because there are certain people that I understand on YouTube, they are credible. That's what I was saying about the news stuff. A lot of times it's no longer journalism. It's just people commentating, giving you their opinion, and speaking as if it's fact. But I hadn't listened to all of his commentary, and even that wasn't all of it. So shout out to, his name is Murad Marali. It's Murad, and then his last name is Merali. Go follow him. Go watch the rest of his video. I'm shocked because I didn't know that about him. And I've been following him for a while. I don't watch, like I said, I don't have time to watch every single video of every single content creator that I like or support. But I didn't know he was going to say that. I did not know he was going to say that. Listen, I'm in shock right now. I'm like, because a lot of times men, unfortunately, don't speak about things like that. And let's be clear, it happens to men all the time. It happens, well, let me say, I believe it happens to children. Doesn't matter if they're male or female. I just do think, though, our toxic conditioning says that men can't talk about stuff like that. Or if they choose to talk about it, then they're going to get thrown in the pond of, oh, you must be a gay man or whatever, bi man. And so then, society will attack them about that. And or if you talk about it as a man, you must be weak. How dare you? That's a choice. You made a choice. Like, I know some people that think like that. I'm just like, please pick up a book. Go read a statistic some fucking way. Like, but people are who they are. You're not gonna be able to reach everybody. So that was not something I was expecting. So now I'm gonna go on there and leave my little comment. But he has almost 400,000 subscribers. So he's clearly pumping out lots of content, and I just don't have time to listen to all of it. But I find that fascinating. I would love, love, love to have a panel where there are at least maybe one or two men, excuse me, that will talk about their experience if they've experienced SA, and then some women too as well, because everybody's gonna have a different experience, and a lot of times people don't believe it because they are fixated on what they feel like they would do if that had happened to them, or how what their response would have been. Oh, I would have told, and I would have done this, and I would have. You don't know what you're gonna do when in those type of situations. Like I've said before, like, so you're getting, essayed at 6 or 7 years old. You bigger and stronger than the perpetrator. You ain't gonna let them do that to you. And people have to stop believing that all of it is some sort of, it's to be sexually assaulted is not always, and oftentimes it isn't at all what they portray it in like a movie or TV show, where it's like some woman's, being stalked by some, man, or she was dressed a certain way, or she was a prostitute, or whatever. And they always, I won't say always, but a lot of times they depict it as if it's this big horrible, you getting chased and pulled down by the back of your hair, and it's violent. It's not always violent. Oftentimes, that's why they talk about grooming. They want to wind you up and get you comfortable with the inappropriate behavior. Because it doesn't have to be happening to a child. It can happen to a whole adult. It can happen to you at work. That's why they have laws against like sexual harassment. Because the grooming part. Oh, I'm just going to massage her. Nobody ain't going to believe her. She liked it. She wouldn't have been working for him that long. She stayed. So it's a whole bunch of bullshit. And so anyway, shout out to him, because I did not know he was going to say that. And like I said, for a man, a lot of times the toxic conditioning, won't allow a space for a man to say, this is what happened to me as a child. And a lot of times when, unfortunately, a whole bunch of the times, when women talk about it, being SA, if the man is a man, half the time they're not gonna believe, because they just don't want to believe anyways. And then the other half, if he got a coin in the bank and you accusing him, why are we trying to ruin this man's basketball dreams? No, why are we accepting this bullshit from any man? What are you talking about? Or any woman? Like, they should just keep it to themselves because that's somebody's son and they got a scholarship and a hope to go play in the NFL. It's like, fuck out of here. But there's lots of people like that. They will drag you within an inch of your life and tell you about how you wanted it and you shouldn't have been dressed that way. And listen, I'll say this, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't give a shit if I was turning cartwheels down the street butt ass naked. You do not have the right to touch me. End of story. You don't. But because somebody wrote a good song and they can dance and whatever, do you know it's still people out here posting, Chris Brown is my husband, I love him. And I'm not saying, you listen, love whoever the fuck you want to love. And whoever's loving you, that's how I believe. That's how I feel like it should go. Do you? But it's the audacities. I'd be like, so you a whole grown ass woman. You saw the repercussions of whatever happened. That man beat the brakes off of Rihanna. Okay. He even said it. I punched her with a closed fist. This is what he said. Now people are like, let me find whatever excuse. It had to have been something she did. Toxic conditioning. Had to have been something she did, because he wouldn't have just done that. And even though we know he did it, even though we seen her face all bloodied and all that, well, he had his reasons. People don't give a shit about his reasons until, no, they can put all his reasons aside until he fucked up your daughter, your niece. Until she roll up, till your sister roll up, bloodied up like that. Then there ain't gonna be ain't no excuse. I'm gonna get that motherfucker. But they can compartmentalize it. I heard a lady say once, I can't get rid of the R. Kelly music because I made my babies during those songs. So you can't get rid of the music the pedophile is singing because of the memory? Girl, stop. I heard that on the internet, on the YouTube. I was just like, wow. That to me sounds like the reason why your daughter or your niece ain't ever gonna tell you that your husband or her granddaddy or whatever your daddy has been touching on her. She ain't gonna tell you. Cause mama running around the house knowingly listening to a pedophile's music and saying she ain't gonna change it because she made her babies to that music. I mean, who didn't like Sex Me Part 1 and Part 2? Everybody did. Your body's calling for me. My Aunt Regina, shout out to her, had that whole 12 play CD. I shouldn't have been listening to 12 play at 10, but I knew the whole damn CD, okay? Who didn't like, what's the name of the damn thing? Hit it hard from the back, right? That was the jam. Whole bunch of songs that man made. Sadie, all of that, yeah. He's a hit maker. But I don't give a shit about his ability to sing and how many Grammys he had and how many hits he had. Once I find out that this motherfucker is peeing on kids and allegedly having sex with Aaliyah at 12, like, it's just not okay. It's not okay. But there are people in the world, they're different than me. They're different than, my besties and my friends. And that's okay. It's just, it's beyond asinine to me. People don't give a shit about war until they in one. They don't give a shit about all of the people dying of AIDS until they sister got AIDS. They don't give a shit about the crime level, or whatever that's happening in the ghetto until somebody in their neighborhood gets shot. Then all of a sudden it's, we need new laws. We got to have more police activity. Like, it's just, people don't give a shit. Then when it's at their doorstep, then suddenly they can understand it. And that's all people like this guy that I was just letting you guys listen to is saying. That's all he was saying. He was talking about all of the shit that didn't happen to him and how people don't believe and this, that, and the third. And then more people will listen now because it's a man saying it. I was on a show, panel the other night, and these idiots that just don't want to, they can't hear it from a woman because I'm a woman. I can't be right. They're just men that don't have a backbone and, they need their wives to stroke their ego. Just saying. And they can't just be objective. They had no objectivity. Because they were saying, oh, women just want to, they always want something from a man. They always want money from a man. And then. Why can't we just be in a relationship? So I got on the pedal and I was like, so men don't have any wants when they looking at her? They don't have no wants when they deciding if they want to, meet this girl at the club or see this nice young lady walking up the street or at their job. They don't have no intentions. They don't have no expectations. That's the word they kept using. Why women got to have all? They don't have no expectations because your expectation is you want to fuck. Let's be very clear about that. They was trying to clown me. They got the wrong window. I let them sit on that panel and talk and sound ignorant and try to gaslight me. And what was interesting to me about that conversation is that it was me. It was like, I think 3 or 4 guys on the panel and me being the intelligent one, but whatever. And I'm not, listen, I understand that some people, they don't have the ability to look at it any other way. They can only receive it from a man. Because then another guy got on there. Shout out to him. Love him. He got on the panel and he was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie. When I was young and before I was getting ready to get married and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm going to the club or meeting a girl, wherever. The point of the, meeting the girl is at some point I want to have sex with her. Period. I be at the club. This is what he was saying at his job. I be at the club and just talk to a girl, dance with her, whatever, buy a drink. You ready to get out of here? Okay, so yeah, let's go to the telly. And that's all I was saying. I wasn't saying it was wrong. I wasn't saying it was wrong. I was saying stop being hypocrites. Stop having this double standard. Stop acting like a woman saying she wants you to be a provider is so egregious when all you want initially, at least initially, when you want to date her, is to have sex with her. It's just a fact. Unless you don't like women, then that changes everything. But that's all I was saying. And these people was on this panel for hours trying to tell me I was wrong. And laughing and thinking it's just a joke. And I let them have it because y'all are idiots and I feel bad for the women that, are in relationships with you. Because I'm sure it must be a real nightmare to have any type of voice in that type of a relationship. I'm sure it's one-sided. So then the guy got on there and made another great point. And they said nothing while this man was talking. Absolutely nothing. They didn't rebuttal him. None of that. None of that. No rebuttaling, no trying to make him seem like he's crazy, trying to guess. They do none of that. But at the moment I kept saying, that's exactly what I just said. How is it that he said the same exact thing about men's behavior, his friends, his family, and him? But if I say that that's what y'all are gonna want to have sex at the end of the, no, you're bitter. Why are you on the internet, on the YouTube, and you got a husband? And I love that one somebody in the that because they was trying to make it seem like, oh well, if your husband really love you or you really love your husband, then why are you on the internet with us? I'm on the internet for the same fucking reason you're on the internet. I'm bored right now, and I have insomnia. I don't know if these motherfuckers have insomnia, but yeah, they trying to clown me, so I was like, I'll let y'all be clowns, cause Chanel, she's winning. She's hitting on all cylinders. She doesn't need you. She was winning before she got married, and she's still married. And if something was to ever happen, God forbid, and I wasn't, I still would be winning. It just is what it is. She's a winner. So, like it, love it, hate it, I don't really care. It's who I am. I don't expect everybody to be me. I used to, but I realized this might be too high. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so they were trying to kind of like make me seem like I'm crazy. But this is the thing. I'm a well-educated person. I'm very intelligent. So I understand that your little pea brain can't go that high. At least for them. So I just let them think that they won and, whatever. I just kept pointing out, So he's okay to say it, just not me. Okay. They can't receive it. And it's okay. And I feel bad for their wives and their daughters and whomever else. Because they're probably going to end up with the same type of narcissistic men that they're dealing with if they love their daddy and believe him. That being said, you can date whoever, whatever works for you and your family, you do that. I'm not going to say what works for me and my husband should work for everybody else or vice versa. I think do whatever works for y'all. Some things I ain't with it. So that ain't going to happen. I'm on the live. Yeah. Anyways, I was talking about Jay-Z. I don't know how I got off on a tangent. But yeah, so, these people, they out here, they're like, well, because they so loyal. So Jay-Z couldn't be that guy. And listen, for the longest time, because I didn't know Diddy was that guy, I was just like shocked that, this came out about him. But after I saw it, I'm like, oh, okay. And then you start nosing around and you realize, oh, this has been going on forever. And a lot of these people, seemingly all of the people in Hollywood knew about it or knew some extent of it. So now I don't trust no fucking body. So like, all of you motherfuckers crazy. But with Jay-Z, I could see it because of the Foxy Brown situation. Because of the fact that you say you started dating Beyonce when she was 19 and you're what, 32, 33, however old he was, right? At the time. It makes sense. Because of the fact that you allegedly have had several babies and that one guy that is consistently saying Jay-Z is his daddy. I'm like, you might want to hang that up now. I wouldn't want to be around him, but I guess I understand it. I feel like he's fighting for the right to say where he belongs and who helped create him. But I think the other parts of that is his mom ended up passing, I believe. Before they were, because Jay-Z would never give her a is it DNA paternity test? Yeah, she would never, he would never do it. He still hasn't to this day. And I don't understand how the courts can't make him do it. That's just really bizarre to me. Because when I worked for CPS, we had them, that was A1. Because mama's baby, daddy's maybe. So we need a DNA test for all of the maybes, like, before we went to court. Because if you're going to try to terminate the parents' rights or let them know that they have a child, because sometimes, people find out that they have children later on and they didn't know. But mostly because the government is then going to say, we want our child support that we're paying to give, Mrs. whomever, the mama, any type of services. That's really what it's about, if you ask me. But yeah, you got to get a paternity test so that we can know that, this child belongs to you, and therefore we're coming to get our, money out of your bank account. Like, that's what the child support system was doing, at least in the family courts. But anyways, with what's going on with Jay-Z and what I think is going to happen to Jay-Z, I don't know if, being his son is the best thing anymore. You know what I mean? Because I think Jay-Z really felt like he won something, but basically the way the guy was just explaining it, okay, to give you a breakdown, what the guy was just explaining about what has happened and is why you can't just read the headline and not really read and kind of do, your due diligence, is because really Tony Busby has come out and said Jay-Z and his attorney have basically said that Jane Doe dropped the lawsuit and she said everything was false and she recanted. And what Tony Busby is over here saying, him and the Jane Doe are like, nah, fuck out of here. That ain't actually what happened. Actually, that didn't happen. And the lady is saying she's doubling down on it did happen. Because I was just like, I don't understand why if this lady, I don't understand why Tony Busby would make such a big, deal out of it and put her, the first person, to this crusade to get victims money and take Jay-Z down. And why would he do that without proof? Without some sort of gotcha? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, he's gonna make a lot of money and he's gonna get, all kinds of, clients and things like that. But it doesn't make sense that you're gonna go after a big ass whale of a fish like Jay-Z with no proof, with nothing. You think people will go to that extent with absolutely nothing? Because then you're giving Jay-Z, this guy that got a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of time, all kinds of, endless situations of where they're going to sue you for defamation and everything else. Because he's going to say, Jay-Z could say, I lost my deal with the NFL. Or I lost my record label because, Tony Busby bringing these false allegations against me and against Rock Nation and blah, 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 caused us to go bankrupt. And, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not an attorney, but I don't think that would be a smart move. Yes, people, can accuse you of all kinds of things and people can put things out there. But proving that someone actually caused you to, defamation is hard to prove because in order to get money, you have to prove that you lost something as a result of this person's reckless, things that they said or did. Right? That's why a lot of people won't sue for slander or what's the other word? Defamation. Because it's hard to prove. But in Jay-Z's situation, if, he had the right lawyer, they could prove, we weren't invited to this and we would have had that and we weren't able to do it because of this man. So now Jay-Z and his attorney, the same attorney we supposed to believe Jay-Z and his attorney. This same attorney said Jay-Z and Diddy aren't friends. They were not friends. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. But I get it. I don't blame the attorney. That's his job or her job. They supposed to. The defense's job is to poke holes in the prosecution's case. If it was a criminal if it was a criminal case. But at the end of the day, same difference. That's their job. He's supposed to go up there and say the most obscene, obnoxious stuff. Not their client, not Jay-Z. Because Jay-Z, everything he says can and will be used against him in the court of law. You want to let the people that actually went to law school do that. Because they know the law. That's why you're paying them all that top dollar. So let them do it. Because the moment, and this is what I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce, in my opinion, made their first bad move, is responding to Jaguar Wright by suing Piers Morgan and saying, no, you got to take that shit down. The reason that was problematic to me, and I'm not even an attorney, is because the moment you say, we didn't do any of those things, they were lying on us, I didn't have any, blah, 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 like most of the people that perpetrators do. They swear they didn't do nothing. They weren't there. I don't even know her. I don't know how. And then the police come in and are like, well, if you weren't there, how did your DNA get in her car? And then they're like, oh, shit. That's what I mean. So the moment Jay-Z and Beyonce, in my opinion, said, we would never do anything like that. That's horrible. And all those people should go to jail and blah, blah, blah. That's problematic because if there is any proof anywhere of anyone that could say that this man was there and he did do this, he has pigeonholed him, his wife, and everybody else on his team into a hole that they ain't gonna be able to get out of, because now your credibility is shot. It's the reason they went to go pick up Diddy. Because there's millions of people, oh, you know, Cassie just wanted the lifestyle. It's a money grab. She lying on me. She's trying to take down a black man, a black billionaire, blah, 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 whatever, right? Lots of people was on Diddy's team. They were like, yeah, man, you know, right? Then that video comes out. And granted, you still have idiots running around on the internet still saying, oh, she wanted it, whatever. You're never going to get everybody to believe you. And and I honestly, I don't give a shit if people believe me. I don't really care. I have my own opinion. You can have yours. And we could be adults. We could be assertive. You're not going to, overtalk me or be rude to me, and I can agree to do the same. But at the end of the day, a lot of those people had to kind of like eat their words, because you can't get around that man beating the brakes off that lady in a hotel room, in a public hotel, in the hallway before he drug her to the room. You can't get around that. So all your credibility is shot. And it's shot because you said she was lying. Everything it's a lie. And that's why I say, to me, Jay-Z and Beyonce doing that whole thing where forcing Piers Morgan to say, we're going to take this out and whatever else. If there's any credibility, if there's an ounce of truth, you going on the record basically saying that ain't something you would do and blah, blah, blah. You got children. You would never do that, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be very problematic for him later if any of it's true. It doesn't have to be true about this Jane Doe. It could be true about any of them. And that's all it takes. And then your little castle will come crumbling down. But, I don't hope that happens. I hope that he didn't do any of those things. But it's just so much that he has done that you just kind of like, that's what I say, I could see it. I didn't really see it with Diddy because I always felt like Diddy was just, Biggie's best friend. And he wasn't really a good artist and none of that. But he made some hits. That's all I kind of really looked at it as. Jay-Z has been doing fuck shit, at least knowingly, where you're getting arrested and all this kind of stuff for years. That was already in your background. So it's not difficult for me to then say, well, yeah, if he was doing this, then he could be doing that. Doesn't mean that it's true, but it's easier for me to swallow it now because it's like, well, you did say on camera that, you cheating on your wife. You did say on camera that, you shot your brother when you was like selling crack and, that type of stuff. When you have these type of situations where you're involved in criminal activity, you're arrested for stabbing people in a club, like, I'm not supposed to believe that you would be doing some other fuck shit? Of course I do. And listen, let me be fair. Just because you made some poor decisions in your life and made, really egregious poor decisions does not mean that is the totality of who you are. That is just some things you did. So if those are some things he did and then now he's different, I salute. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saluting him for being some, super saint or nothing like that. But it's more of like, you learned your lesson, you changed your behavior, and you moved on. And you're no longer living like that. That's the part that I salute. That's it. That's all. Because I don't understand why people run around the world calling this motherfucker hove. I can't. But I think it's interesting how they're spinning it. His lawyers are spinning it. Like 2 days ago, it was like, yeah, she lied and, whatever else. And if you get enough people saying that that lady's a liar and seemingly co-signing on what they think happened, enough people start believing it. Because I didn't necessarily believe it, but that's what I was hearing. I was like, well, that people are stating that, she did recant it. And that's what I was saying the other day. I'm like, well, if she recanted it, there's a few reasons why that would happen. Because people recant all the time. Out of fear, for their safety, or, humiliation, whatever it is. Victims do recant. But that doesn't mean it's false. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. But I started to think, okay, well, now that Jay-Z, the reason I believed it is because I was like, it's being reported that Jay-Z is suing Tony Busby, the attorney for Jane Doe. So why would you be suing someone unless you won the case? So that's why I thought it was true. Or I wasn't 100% sure, but I was like, well, if he's suing him now, he has to have some sort of reason to be suing him. I mean, he doesn't, but you get what I'm saying. Like, everyone would know it's frivolous if he doesn't have, if he didn't win this part of it. So, I still do feel bad, you know, for the kids, you know, because they shouldn't have to be. I would never want to be Blue Ivy right now, and it's sad because she's innocent, and she's gonna be for the remainder of her life battling whatever the outcome is of her father's behavior, or you know him being exonerated. If they can never, if he gets convicted of that, it's always going to be hurt. Well, you know what? It could tarnish your life, but I think it's hard. It would be hard, even if Jay-Z and Beyonce were perfect people. I still wouldn't want to be their daughter. It's sort of like being the daughter of a president. It's not the same, but my point is, if my daddy is Barack Obama, no matter what I do, I can't get higher than the president of the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, I could be a doctor, I could be a humanitarian, I could be a philanthropist, I could be it could have created the cure for AIDS and whatever, right? But your daddy the president. And so that's kind of how, like, I feel. I mean, they got it coming from every direction. Your mama running around Earth in a leotard for 16 years, you know, making hit after hit. And your daddy is the fake, you know, goat of rap, because I don't believe that. But you see what I'm saying? It's like, what chance do you have? If one parent is a superstar, you don't have much of a chance of really kind of succeeding that. Both of them superstars. I'm just like, pick out a bridge, sis. Like, no, I'm joking. Don't pick out no bridges. But you get what I'm saying? It's like, I just think it's going to be very difficult. It's not that you should be competing, but it's the reason that Solange is running around with an afro. No shade to her or afros, but I feel like she's running around being this complete opposite glam goddess that Beyonce is. Not that because it's an afro. It's just like she wants to make sure that everybody knows she's different. And don't call me her. Don't ask me about Beyonce. It can become tiresome that everything that I'm doing in my life gets overshadowed by my sister. So that's why I think, you know, Solange is who Solange is. I don't necessarily think that she arrived here that way. I think our society, good night, our society created her because she couldn't go and just be a pop star. She tried it. But every interview is, what about Beyonce? What about her? You know? And so she realized, okay, that's not going to work. And I hate that because I'm not saying she isn't authentically who she is. I don't think that Solange would be in the area or space that she's in terms of singing. I don't think she would have chosen this like acoustic, you know, India Arie kind of lane. That love India Arie, one of the greatest. I love her. But anyway, I don't think that's who she would have been if she would have had an opportunity to not constantly be, you know, compared to Beyonce, you know, or superhuman sister unicorn lady, you know. And so I think Blue Ivy and children like her that grow up in that type of wealth and privilege, what could they ever do to compare? Blue Ivy could be a whole ass astronaut and go to Mars. And they still gonna ask her about her mama Beyonce and Jay-Z. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I just don't think she'll ever be able to step out of pocket because Beyonce and Jay-Z have a PhD in minding their own business and not answering any questions about anything ever until now. So I feel bad for the children because they're innocent and they didn't have to be drugged into this bullshit. I hope for their kids and for Beyonce. Like I said, she's not my favorite person, but I do understand the type of grief that would cause. I work at a mental health hospital, one of the best in the world, actually. That could send people down a whole life black hole that they never thought they would be in because of the level of scrutiny that comes along with, you know, you weren't good enough. Your dad's a pedophile. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. And listen, Slow Bella say, you know, Jay-Z, they gonna take him down, and then they gonna take down Beyonce with him. I found that one hard to believe, but the way she have said it now, I don't know. You never know what sis knew or didn't know. So I'm sure Diddy thought he wasn't going anywhere. And I believe Jay-Z was over there like sweating bullets. I don't know if he's going to actually get taken down, but I do think that there are a lot of people out there in the world that now have their eyes on him, thinking, whatever Jaguar, I gotta go to sleep, guys, but whatever Jaguar Wright said might be true. And if it is true, I've got my eyes on you, I think is what the justice system is saying over here. So, and then, you know, you'll have those people, well, they didn't do this to the white people, and they didn't do this to this person. Who gives a shit? Are we putting away and exposing pedophiles and, you know, rapists and whatever else? Who gives a shit about this and happen to the white person too? I don't give a shit. Listen, I only care about the victims. I don't give a shit about whatever the comfort. I'm not that girl that's like, well, you know, we gonna just let OJ off because of how many black men died hanging from trees and all the racism and all that. I'm not letting this motherfucker off. At the end of the day, allegedly, he murdered his family, his ex-wife. Why are we justifying that because he's black? And because Rodney King got beat up by, you know, 5 police officers. I'm not doing that. I get it because I'm black and I'm proud, right? I get it. I get how it feels. But I'm not going to allow my emotions about, or my attachment about this man is the one man that made it to billionaire status, and since he's black and look like me, he get a pass on rape or whatever it is that people are accusing him of. No, you don't get a pass. Mm-mm. When you've done egregious shit like what these people are being accused of, I'm not giving you a pass. Period. And I don't give a shit about the people like, oh, well, they're innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, that's what the law says. That ain't what Chanel says. And it ain't changing over here. He got to show me that he's not guilty. Show me that you're innocent. Because I know what happens to victims when they try to have a voice. So, no, I'm not doing that. And I'm not cool. I'm not going to just, for me, I don't understand. Why are you relating more to the pedophile or to the, what do you call it, the sex offender or the accused than you are to the person who's saying this is what happened to them? Why do you relate more to that person? That says something to me about you. Same way I always think this. It's so bizarre to me, especially in Texas. You know how you have people where you go out and they hunt deer and stuff like that? I don't understand those type of people. But if you read any decent, you know, literature about serial killers, guess what they're going to say? Well, you know, we can probably tell if the person has, you know, psychotic thoughts and if they're going to be a serial killer because they probably started out killing animals, small animals when they were little. The fuck? I'm trying to understand. I'm not saying this is false, right? Because it's a study, whatever. But what I am asking people is to use both sides of your brain. So what exactly do we call the guys that put on the John Deere outfit and, you know, go and hunt deer? Are they not teaching their children how to kill small animals? Or in this case, bigger animals at a small age, at 8, 9, 10 years old? So does that mean that those fathers or uncles who are taking their loved ones, their sons and, you know, nephews out to the woods to hunt deer are also all sociopaths because they were doing this? They're teaching the 3. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, I just feel like you can't have it both ways. So if you're saying this is what's going on in the mind of a psychopath or sociopath, is that it starts when, you know, the behaviors, you know, is they're you know, they're violent towards animals. I think it's all wrong. I think something wrong with everybody that's doing it. Just like I think it's something wrong for the people going out shooting a deer, especially if you were just doing it for fun. That's the problem that I have. If you're doing this to survive, you know, like the American Indians, Native Americans were doing, they were killing the buffalo for everything. You know, they were using every part. That makes sense. I got to do this. Either I'm going to die or I have to kill the, you know, antelope, whatever it is, right? So those people that's teaching their kids to, you know, shoot the deer or the turtle, whatever the hell they doing, they not also sociopaths? It's just me? I don't know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Chanel's Reality. I'm very tired. I got to get up early in the morning. So I'm going to try to lay here and go to sleep, get some, you know, beauty sleep, beauty rest. Y'all chime down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this whole Jay-Z thing. And y'all think he going down? Y'all believe Tony Busby gonna get sued? The breaks sued off of him by Jay-Z? I think Jay-Z is definitely gonna try. But I wonder when he'll start losing his endorsements. And how long it'll be before Diddy's lawyers have drained his pockets too. Because it's really not gonna be the people that suing Diddy. It's gonna be them lawyers. They got all kind of fees. They gonna get his ass. Anyway, if they did it, which I believe both of them did something. I don't know about all of it, but they definitely did some atrocious shit, in my opinion. I believe they're gonna go to jail. Oh, thank you, Young Riaz, aka Drip King. Love. Hold on, put some little love. Thank you. Hit that like button, guys. Please hit the like button, hit the notification button, hit the subscribe button if you like the content that you've been consuming. It's a free and easy way to support my channel. And see, look, I'm out here making content. My ass is so tired. Okay? So tired. But I'm going to go to bed. Look, I got the last thing. Have y'all ever had this? I don't know if y'all ever had this. I'm not a drinker. And one night I was at my friend's house. This was years ago. This was probably like 10 years ago. Because I'm out like ordering drinks because it's purple or pink and it has fruit in it. Because I think it's going to taste like fruit juice and it ain't. And then I'm like, why did I order this? So my friends usually drink my drink because I'm just not that good at it. But one night I was at my friend's house and we were talking, how you hanging out with your girl or whatever. And we were having girl talk. And she's like, I'm going to make something. I think I'll make you something. I know what you'll like. And she made me that with, I don't know what she put with it. Listen. It was so good. And I had to stop drinking because I was just like, I can't drink shit that tastes good. The reason I don't like alcohol is because I don't like the way it tastes. But she made it and girl, it's like, damn, this shit's good. So, no, but anyways, stay safe, guys. I think it's going to be, we got the bipolar weather in here in Houston. So, I don't know if it's going to be cold or not because 2 days ago it was springtime. Now all of a sudden it's winter again. I don't understand. But hit that like button, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Gotta give me some beauty.